Water, the sustainer of life. The only thing that you need more desperately is air. Within 3 days, without water, you'll die. The real question is your water self-sustaining? Are you able to access your water supply? Now, the beautiful thing about water is that it runs under our feet. Fresh, clean, drinkable water. Now, that may be 50 feet, maybe 400 feet, but it does run. But can you gain access to the water underneath your feet? Hydromissions may not mean anything to you at this point, but hopefully after this video, it's going to take on a whole new meaning and empower you to be able to access the water that's underneath you. We're here at the base of Table Rock Mountain in South Carolina, and I'm here with Steve Lorch, who is the founder of Hydromissions International. Now, Steve goes to many third world countries and sets up water systems for people that are actually using very primitive means. And he has designed a number of implements to actually dig wells. And so I'm going to let Steve talk, and he's going to show you some things that he's designed that I think is just really incredible and can be used not only in third world countries, but right here in the United States as a survival option to obtain the most precious thing that we have is water.
So although Hydromissions is a Christian missions company involved in third world water projects, a lot of what we do really applies to the survivalist setting as well. As Don had already said, water is the basic building block of life. You need water to live. That is your first primary concern for survival. We have some things that we want to show you. You can go to our website for more information. It's www.hydromissions.com, and that has all kinds of information, links to videos and everything like that. But this is just a brief overview and some things that are available to you and to give you some ideas for water survivalist techniques. The first thing is getting water. A lot of people have wells. You can put a well in with a simple drill. This is what we call the Explorer. It's a simple hand augering tool. The bit is essentially a can with teeth on the bottom. You turn it clockwise, it burrows itself into the ground, the can fills up with dirt, you pull it out, you dump it, you go back down. You add extensions. These are just 3-foot extensions of square steel tubing. You add extensions with these lock pins to go down further. It all breaks apart very simply. You add extensions in the field. The reason so many people like this with our mission is because an entire kit fits in 2 bags like this. They're 40 pounds each. You can check them in as luggage on an airline. You can use them overseas. These have been all over the world. We've had them in the field for about 7 years now. People have backpacked them, used them on donkeys, canoes, you name it, backs of motorcycles, and it's very portable. That's why we call it the Explorer. So pretty much you can go through any kind of dirt with it. Some compacted gravels, it will not go through rock. There is really no hand drilling system on the market that will go through rock. We are working on that, but so far that's kind of the elusive holy grail of drilling. You put it in the ground. It's basically a giant fence post digger, but it's designed to go down at least 50 feet. It'll go down to 100 feet, and you can actually have a cased well to get water. So next on the list, after you have water in a well, you need to retrieve it somehow. You need to get it out of that tube into some useful means, into a bucket or somehow in your home for use. To do that, you can use many different types of hand pumps. This is one that we designed. It's called a slap shot. This is just a demo unit of it. And essentially, you have the top, which is a handle. All that is a lever. There are all kinds of fancy mechanisms to make a lever for a pump, but essentially it's just a lever that moves a piston up and down. There are 2 valves that work together, so as you move it, they go back and forth like this. The one valve opens while the other one closes, and together those things pump water. This is actually a pretty complex structure. Again, plans are on our website, hydromissions.com. You can find free plans. All these parts you can get at Lowe's. I think it's about 45 bucks to make a slap shot pump down to about 50 feet. But it is complicated. In the third world, however, we use something called a baler bucket. I'm very fond of the baler bucket. It's a bit of my pet project. People have used buckets down wells for thousands of years. So as primitive as you think that is, it always works. These have never failed. And essentially a baler bucket is designed for a tube well going down a tube. So you have to make a tall, skinny tube because a big bucket won't fit in, and even if it did, it wouldn't actually tip over to get the water in. So you make a tall, skinny tube with a one-way valve on the bottom. It just goes like this. It opens up and down. So it's just a simple flat mechanism. You can kind of hear that clacking in there. Glue it on. You have a cross beam for your rope. You lower it down. The valve opens up, fills with water. You can pull it out. The beauty of this is it costs you about 20 bucks. And you can always get water. It doesn't matter the depth of your well. On our homestead, we've got 2 wells. One is 52 feet, the other is about 406. And I can tell you that even if our power fails, we can always use a baler bucket, even down the 400-foot well, to get water out. It never fails. It always draws water all the time, 100%. So this is a great survival tool, and I think it's something that if you have a well in your yard, on your property, at least have one as a backup. And we use it a lot in third world countries. So that's also on our website, and you can go to our YouTube channel. Just look up Hydromissions, that's our channel there. One of the final little gizmos we wanted to show you is something called a spade, or a solar pasteurization detector. If you have water but you need to clean it, you don't always have to boil it. The dairy industry has been pasteurizing milk for years and years and years, and so we know the statistics from that on how you can pasteurize. Water actually pasteurizes at a lower temperature. Problem is, you don't know when you set a bottle in the sun if it's been in the sun long enough and at the right temperature for the right amount of time. So we've come up with this device. It's based on an old design called a whoppy, but this device we call a spade, and it's essentially a wax in a tube, and that wax melts at an appropriate temperature to indicate that your water has reached the time and temperature needed for pasteurization. It fits inside the cap of any kind of water bottle, just with a wing nut, and then it goes into the bottle like so. You fill your bottle up with water, place it in the sun. When it's been in the sun long enough, that red wax will melt. It'll go from the top to the bottom, and you know that it's been in the sun for long enough at the right temperature to indicate pasteurization. It may still be brown, it may still have chunks in it, but it's at least clean, so you can still drink it and there's nothing living in there. So this is a pretty typical hand pump. It's called an India Mark II. It's probably the most common hand pump that we encounter in the third world. They're all over Africa. They're manufactured in India. But it's a pretty expensive hand pump. It's about 2,000 bucks, which is not very affordable when you're a villager earning about $1 a day. The other thing is that it's a mechanical device and it will break down. Typically the fail rate is about 6 months to a year. So you have to be able to have the technology and the know-how to fix it, but you also have to have the financial means to be able to do it. Otherwise these wells get abandoned. That's why we like things that are simple like the baler bucket so much. They're always working, they never fail.
How much does that pump out?
Typical hand pump for a healthy adult male, your max is going to be about 5 gallons a minute. But electricity is cool because you can just do this.
And this is solar.
This is direct solar. There we go.
Now, is that from that solar panel over there?
Yep.
And the solar panel is over there in the field.
Yep.
And that's no battery back, no battery anything. That's directly...
It's a DC solar pump. You can go to solarpumps.com. The company's called Robison Pumps, and they make a good DC pump that'll even run when it's dry and it won't burn out. So they're good pumps, they're just expensive.
I want to thank Steve for taking time to talk about some of this very vital issue. Visit hydromissions.com. Visit his YouTube channel as well. Has a lot of great videos. In fact, he's adding more daily, and it'll really give you a lot more information about what we talked about in a lot more detail, plus a lot of great field footage as well. And as always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more fun gun reviews and sensible survival. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Okay.
You can ask me how to drill a well.
Yeah, would you? Tell me. Application to survivalist Applications.
Department of Redundancy Department.
Yeah, visit the Department of... See that up there?